Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and I was actually singing Nothing Compares to You. It's been in my head, and it's funny because I haven't heard it on the radio, but it's just something about that song, the Prince version, not the Sinead version. So we have 23 listings on the one system. We got 3 more on the other for a total of 26. And the first one that starts us off is Nadlin Heights. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-washroom. Nice finishes inside. I'm not a big fan of this building. I think there's better constructed buildings elsewhere, but Mattamy, you know, the name is there. I guess it's popular with people, but I would go elsewhere if I was a buyer in that price range. So Sprague is $326,900, and so it's a freehold town. It's a Cherrywood, so it's basically a great alternative to a condo because it's completely freehold. It's probably like 7 years old by now. But this is the entry point, and the price is very attractive. You can't really get freehold for less than this. I have people inquire on our website all the time, and they say, yeah, I'm looking under $300,000. We got 2 options. You can go to Kitchener-Waterloo, or you can basically get your DeLorean in a time machine and go back probably 5 or 6 years ago, because it just doesn't exist. It's just, that's the way it is. People say, why are prices so high? Generally, it's because you can borrow money for about 3% now. So interest rates and price do relate to each other. The carrying cost, I find, has gone up a little bit in the last couple of years, but it has been mitigated somewhat by lower interest rates. So cost again is $334,800. Stacked townhouse, so you've got 3-bedroom, 2 washrooms, so you're probably looking at the main floor. If you look at the room measurements, it's main and basement. So there's a master on the main with a kitchen and a living room, and then downstairs you have a rec room and your 2nd and 3rd bedroom. Probably not the ideal layout, especially if you figure you've got kids and they've got to go down in the basement. There is an extra owned parking spot. I still feel like it's a little bit high. We'll wait for the photos though, but it's a tricky layout. It's almost like it's good for like a single person who doesn't really need the basement. The basement becomes bonus space. This one on Nadlin is $359,000. The only thing with this is you're paying an extra $90 a month compared to Sprague or compared to this one here on Woodley. And so you need to think about that. I mean, $90 a month is pretty close to $15,000 to $20,000 on a mortgage when you look at carrying costs. So it does have a substantial effect. This one is 1,356 square feet. It's called a Woodbine model. It's my favorite layout upstairs. So you've got a master with an ensuite, and then you also have a 2nd bedroom and a 2nd full bathroom. So upstairs, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on the top floor. It also comes in a 3-bedroom with only 1 bathroom. And I find this one is probably the nicest, and it's big enough you could put a couple beds in here. You wonder if they're running out of space here. Obviously, you've got what looks like possibly a boys and a girls bed, but even it doesn't matter if there's 2 beds in a room. There's probably a good chance that it's time to upsize the home, and so the price seems pretty much in line with what else is sold. I think they're going to do really well. Bond and Crescent is $409,000. And so it's kind of similar to the, I believe it's the Charlton model, and you know how we love the name Charlton around here. So it's the Monaco. It's a little bit smaller than the one that I just discussed, the Charlton model. You've got a finished basement here, and $409,000, and you've got that same sloping berm that we talked about earlier in the week with the deeper lot, 120 feet, but you've got the train right behind you. Overall, it seems like pretty fair value. We've seen a couple on Black and Andrews go for around this price or sometimes even more. Panton Trail's $419,000, so this is a little bit bigger than the previous one. It's not a bad layout here. It's you know, you've got, looks like upgraded floors upstairs, hardwood floor up on the 2nd level, and $419,000 again seems pretty good. Builder finished basement on that one. Farmstead's $435,000. We don't have any information. It's 9-foot ceilings. Usually they're about 1,600 square feet in this complex. They don't have a wide variation of size, and then you also have a finished basement. It would compare to like a Hills View, for example, from Mattamy, about 1,500 square feet there. And so there is a lot of finished space for the size. You're still paying those extra fees in that complex as well. Koskin is $439,000, 1,800 square feet. the thing about this home is it feels kind of long and narrow. That's the thing about this builder, is you've got about a 23-foot lot. You're an inside town, so at least 10 of that is your garage. They don't usually have rooms in the front of the house, so you start to see that the bedrooms are a little bit more narrow. You can only position your furniture a certain way in some of the main floor rooms. And how much of the space is used up there, because that's what you got to fit usually a closet, access to the garage, powder room. You got to fit all that stuff in the front before you get into the living area. So anyway, I like some other stuff for the same price. A bit more gets you this one on Agnew, which is a semi-detached, a little bit smaller. Nice kitchen. It's all carpet throughout the whole house. It's relatively new, and looks like they're kind of on their way to putting a fence in. You know, it seems okay. The new semis, for some reason, tend to command a premium, and I actually like Agnew. I think it's a nice street. There's some mature trees close by, and this school, Irma Coulson, is getting great reviews. So Pearl is one of my favorite picks of the day because it's so unique and different. $467 is a very attractive price point. You're a 51 by 136 foot lot. You've got the exposed brick. You've got the you've got this nice ceiling effect. You've got some original barn board floors. Maybe not to everyone's style taste, but I think that it really, 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 really is charming. And then obviously you've got that nice lot there too. So this one should get action. Even just where it is, I think, is a good spot, and maybe not sort of the like AAA downtown location, but it's certainly, you know, a AA, good solid location. So Ruddy is $469, and so we've got 2010 square feet plus a finished basement. The main floor, you kind of walk through the middle of it, and so it's like what can you do over on the side here? You almost have to deke around the couch, and then you have a room further back beside the kitchen. Not my favorite floor plan for the money, but there is a lot of finished space. This one on Joyce is going head to head, same price as the one on Willow, which I just saw yesterday, and it shows very well. This one here, same kind of thing, renovated kitchen, 55 by 120 foot lot. You've got nice mature trees here. Willow backs onto a park and still a couple mature trees, but this one's really kind of, you know, filled in the back. They both look great. Really, really nice. Hold on a sec here. There's a little doggy, by the way, just seeing what's going on in the photos. I never caught that when I looked at this the first time. And there we are. So the thing about that garage being there, very convenient, direct access to the basement if you've got older relatives. The one drawback, though, is that it cuts down on the amount of space in the basement. So you're a raised bungalow. You do have a pretty big floor plan, but you're taking up probably 200 square feet of it with garage space. So Wewell is $514,900. Unfinished basement. It's only 1,600 square feet. You can buy a bigger home than this for this kind of money, but it's obviously a lot of upgrades in this one here. Looks like the flooring upstairs has been done, glass shower, pretty much everything you could think of in terms of an upgrade has been done on this one. Yates is $514,900. We're about 1,900 square feet with a finished basement. Same price. You get 300 square feet more plus a finished basement, and actually not a bad looking home. So this is the kind of stuff that Wewell would compete against. In many ways, completely different homes. Yates is probably a little busier than Wewell in the big picture, but I'll tell you, I would go for the space probably more than the fancy finishes, because you can always do the finishes later. You can't put more space on a home. It's just, you'd never do an addition on Wewell. It just wouldn't make any sense. This one's kind of interesting. It's a townhouse, but it's a double car garage. It's got a courtyard, so it doesn't really have a true backyard. But you also take the garage out of the floor plan, like we talked about with Costin, how you have to build around it. Now you take it out, you have a really open concept main floor. And big front porch here. Lots of upgrades, open concept, big principal rooms. Lots of windows because it's on the corner as well. And then they've also finished the basement, but you just don't get the yard space here. So I like this one. I think it's very interesting. It's unique, it's different, and you've got your 4 bedrooms. It's one way to really get into the double garage for a lot less than than you'd find elsewhere. So Solomon is $539, and can't tell the floor plan just from looking at the pictures here. I'd probably have to go for a deep search. Doesn't really blow you away. Martin is kind of interesting here. We've got 569.9. You're a 53 by 230 foot lot, so a huge, massive lot. Some would argue maybe they don't want to shovel that driveway, but here's the thing: lots of space inside. You also have an in-ground pool here. You have excessive amounts of wood, which is kind of nice. It's charming. It's a throwback. You can work with it. And yeah, overall, this one looks quite attractive. There's the pool there too. I like it. I like it a lot. There is a garage. It looks like it's attached to the home, single car garage, which you don't really see from the picture here. It's nice. It's unique and different, and the lot obviously is a big selling feature. This one on Pettit, it's about 2,300 square feet and 4 bedrooms plus a loft upstairs. It's actually kind of better value than a lot of the stuff I'm seeing in this neighborhood. The interesting thing about this neighborhood is that it seems like there's a lot of listings that are listing probably a little bit on the high side. So when you get something that's actually close to the zone it should be, it starts to stand out. So sometimes what we say to people is that, hey, you're helping the other homes sell if you're priced too high, because now they start looking like better value for the same or less money. So Weller Crossing 659, 9-foot ceiling on this one here, 2,600 square feet. I don't know if that's total or not. It could just be 26 plus the basement. I can't tell the floor plan just from looking at it. Homes is about 2,800 square feet. Impressive kitchen here. Almost like a glass backsplash, and then you have a fully finished basement. $695. Really, you're thinking on this one probably somewhere for the upgrades and finishes. You're kind of in the mid sixes, maybe a little bit higher than you at the basement. And the lot is actually a really nice size. It's a 62 by 104. I would just be curious, because it's obviously wider in the front. You can see how it's on an angle for the street. How wide is the backyard? So you don't really get a good dimension of that in the photos. So Dimont is 2,661 square feet, and they've done a lot of nice modern work here. The thing about this model, though, is it usually sells for a lot less. So this is one of those homes where you're certainly you're kind of paying for the upgrades. One of the things that I'm not sure, yeah, it does back on other homes. So that's, yeah, you're just not getting, you could buy that home with less finishes for probably $630,000. Cahoon is another one here. I believe it's 2,800 square feet, 834. Yes, you've got a lovely ravine behind you. You've got a nice looking home here. Lots of nice finishes. That's certainly a value add. But the thing is that is still a lot of money for this style of home. This style of home normally sells in the mid sixes. Someone's not going to pay $150,000 for some upgrades, admittedly, and the green space. So they're going to have a tough time there. Over 800, generally you got to be over 3,000 square feet to even start to compete. 3 more on the Oakville Milton list, and so the first one up is this one here on Main Street, 244.9. It's a Cabot model, which is I think like 767 square feet. It looks a little plain inside, but it has the 1 bedroom plus the den. The thing most people don't know about this one until they actually get into the building and look around a little bit is that you're walking through open hallways, and then you have direct access to your unit, usually through a little kind of vestibule that you walk into. So the new building, the new courtyards, is actually going to have everything enclosed, which I'm kind of looking forward to. We've got one at 810 at 100 Millside. And we're around 1150 square feet, and I believe a south view, and not bad finishes. I mean, everything looks like it's clean and tidy, and 3049 seems like great value. Now, I want to talk about one. I'm going to send an email with some more details tomorrow, but we've got a larger unit higher floor, and floors matter in this building for sure. Renovated kitchen, hardwood floors. The thing is, we can't sell it till August because the tenants that are in there have a lot of boxes. They have a lot of things that you just can't photo well. So we're going to basically have them leave and then paint everything and then put it on the market vacant. But anyways, I wanted to let you know because we could still show it to you. If you can see past some boxes, it's going to be somewhere in kind of the mid 300s. So if that's your budget, 1225 square feet, you've got a south view, so it looks all the way from Toronto, all the way right across. You can see the escarpment, the sunsets on the west side. Great view. You can see all of downtown right there. You could literally sit there for hours and just watch the world go by. It's a really nice location, and it's a little bigger than this one on a higher floor with more renos. So if that's interesting to you, let me know and we'll get you in. Mountain View is $424,900, and so there's no garage here. It's Old Milton, but it's kind of a smaller Old Milton. It's only about a 51 by 97 foot property, and they've put a pool in the back, so there's really not much else besides that. And I actually think the price point's pretty good. So if you're looking for a bit of a smaller home, nice neighborhood in Milton, maybe not a huge backyard. I don't even know if there's a lot of grass here, but if you like pools, maybe this is the one. And the thing is, the price point here, you can buy like a 1,400 square foot townhouse for the same price. I know that there's an audience for this home, and for that reason, we definitely give it the thumbs up. So if you have any questions, give us a call, and have a great weekend. We've got a couple open houses on the weekend. I'll send you an email tomorrow just to kind of remind you of some of the great deals out there and places to go have a look if you're going to be in town. So we'll see you back here on Monday. Thanks very much.